Greetings everyone, my name is Atterville, and I welcome you all to my blind live let's play of MM2 for the Game Boy, also known as Rockman World 2 in Japan. This was released 1 year after Mega Man Dr. Wily's Conquest, which I just let's played on the stream. So without further ado, let's begin. I also applied a music improvement patch which fixes the music slightly, so it's not as ear-blaring. Crashman it is, or rather Clashman. I'll go after Airman next. As you can see, the physics are a bit better. I don't maintain air inertia when moving left or right and letting go. I also have access to sliding, as this game takes 4 Roadmasters from Mega Man 2 and 4 Roadmasters from Mega Man 3. Also, unlike Dr. Wily's Conquest, all the music tracks in this game are original. They're not just remixes of the NES tracks. I knew I was gonna die here at least once. Too low on health, I took too much damage from the tellies. Basically, this game takes stuff from Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3. Including Rush, once I get him. Physics feel better than the previous game, but I've noticed that jumping is a bit different. Yeah, we don't have acceleration. I'm also glad to see the inclusion of E-Tanks. I would love to have 1 or 2 of them in the previous game. Then again, this game was made by a different team than Dr. Wily's Conquest. Time to face off against Crashman. This part of the song always cracks me up. So far, Crashman had the same AI pattern. And I agree, Jedok. I love the remixes done by Rushjet1. But if you need, I get a Clash Bomb and Rush Coil. Now off to Airman's level. Oh, I love his soundtrack. This is my favorite rendition of Airman's theme. True, the RTEs do look a bit freaked out. Should have been more patient there. That's all on me. And that's also on me because I didn't press the jump button in time. What is this, Mega Man 5 generosity? Random air tiki guarding the door. The biggest problem with this game is the high-pitched audio. I can't emphasize it enough. Even though the original compositions are fine, the way they're executed in the original handheld was bad, even for the Game Boy standards. So far, it feels like the stages are better built for the limitations of the Game Boy compared to Dr. Wise's Conquest. But the game does feel a bit easy, my deaths notwithstanding. By defeating Mega Dare Shooter and Rush Jet. Let's complete the cycle and go after Metal Man. I'm not sure if I have his weakness, so I'll have to suss it out. Based on my experience playing Quint's Revenge, I think Metal Man's weakness in this game is the Clash Bomb. Dr. Wise Revenge, sorry about that. Of course we'd have the moles. Not as many at once, though. What's up there? Oh, another crusher. These Metars feel slower than their counterparts in Revenge. Well, I made it to the end. I'll try battling Buster only, then I'll use his weakness. Well, I almost got him stuck in a pattern. I say he was easier than his NES counterpart. Metal Blade and Rush Marine. Didn't expect that to be integrated in this game. Probably gonna be barely used. Last but not least is Woodman. Last of the first 4 RMs, that is. I kind of like this version of the robots more. You have more time to react to them. Ah, water section. That's different. Ah, look at that, tiny cannons. Or small cannons. They look kind of cute. Hang on a minute, you can slide through damage? I mean, you can slide through enemies without taking knockback. You still take the damage, but you still keep moving. Yeah, I could have used Rush Marine there, but I wanted to do it the legit way. To be honest, that leaf shield is rather unimpressive, and it comes out too slowly, along with the leaves falling from the ceiling. That could have been tweaked to go probably 20% faster. Now to Wise Fortress, but this is only the halfway point in the game. This is a cutscene, by the way. Fancy seeing Wily at the front door. But of course there's a trap. There are 4 more Roadmaster stages to go through. It's like Dr. Wise's Revenge, but we actually have stages. Judging by the music, this is Magnet Man's stage. I wish we actually had portraits so we knew which stage we were going through next. Glad to have the Mega Man 3 rush yet. Thanks for the free E-Tank. Hitting these enemies sound like I'm really just washing them. Of course, that may be also because of the hack I'm using. The resized versions of these enemies look a bit off. Oh, by the way, do you want to know what the story of this game is? Basically, after Wily's defeat in Wily's Revenge, Wily decided to make a time machine. Yes, a time machine, and he used it to travel, I think about 34 years in the future, where the world is at peace because future Wily has reformed. But he manages to trick future Wily into kidnapping future Mega Man, who has been converted back to a household robot because there's no need for him to have weapons, and converts future Mega Man into Quint, who is the Mega Man killer of this game. And so he then travels back into the past with Quint at his side. Oh, spikes aren't solid here. Bye, Yoku Block section. Well, let's do this last one legitimately. It's probably an alternate future because I don't foresee Wily reforming in 30 years. Unless something major happened. I feel if that future happened, we wouldn't have the events of Mega Man X. At least the way we know it in the franchise. We'd probably have an alternate future for Mega Man X. sorry, force of habit. But the fact that you can jump through the Yoko blocks does make it better. It's not my favorite Yoko block section, but it's one of the better ones. Switching sides with sliding. I keep forgetting that the slide extends a bit further when you change directions. Don't worry, Needleman isn't this difficult, it's just me being incompetent. Down he goes. And Jerryman's right, he's technically not a Megman killer, but he's usually lumped in with that group. You know, I wouldn't mind if there was something like the Zelda timeline for Mega Man games, keeping the X series as a sequel series while also considering as a possible future. I would like to see a more upbeat future to the classic series, instead of what happens in the X series and then the Zero series, a what-if scenario. On the topic of stage music, I love this version of Hartman's theme, much more than the NES game. Note the banana down there. In this game it's determined by X coordinate. Sound effects, I'm not sure. Music, well, at least for number 2, I'd say it's better than the NES counterparts, for the most part. Equivalent to better. Getting some cheap shots in. The original Hartman team for me was kind of boring. Not as bad as Needleman's team, but we'll get to that. Here we go, time for Hartman. I believe his weakness is the magnet missile. This version of Hartman's so much easier than the original. He moves much slower, and his fists deal a lot less damage. Only 1 point of damage to me. Frankly, they should deal 2 points, otherwise this fight is relatively a cakewalk. Rockman Shadow is a separate character. Two down, two left to go. Needleman stage. I didn't like the original Needleman team on the NES. It just sounded off to me. But this version, I love it. I say that this music track is the most improved from the NES counterpart. Let's try out the hard knuckle, see if it's been improved. It comes out much faster. Playing off of them too? Do we really need to have it that weak? And because we're technically in a fortress, after the end of every stage, our weapons are not refilled. Does this game have Roadmaster rematches? Good. I was worried I have to conserve my weapons more. Only can pick up the 40 tanks at a time. I guess the Gameboy games were the inspiration of why the limit was changed to 4 in Mega Man 7. Better version of Big Eye compared to the previous game. So much less of a nuisance. Time for Needleman. I think he has a different pattern from his NES version, but I don't recall his pattern in the NES version. It's been so long. I think I kinda broke his AI pattern. Shouldn't he always fire the series of needles twice before jumping towards me, or using a needle press attack? Needle Cannon, our rapid-firing weapon for this game. So last but not least is Topman. I say this version of his soundtrack is about the same quality compared to his original. Pickleman Bulls are really weak here. As much as I would like to use the Rush Marine here, I'll do this section legitimately. Why are so many enemies immune to the air shooter? Tamas have gotten a buff in terms of durability. It took 4 clash bombs to destroy it. Compared with the previous game, the number of pickupables in the stages is a lot more generous. I don't recall there being this many extra lives and life energy pickups. It makes the game a lot easier. Not to mention the frequency of the E-tanks, and pretty easy to reach locations. Of course, the spinning top gimmick is only used on one screen, like the original. Topman's weakness, I believe, is the hard knuckle, but as you saw, it's not really needed. In fact, pretty much all the Roadmaster encounters in this game are about the same or easier in terms of difficulty compared to Dr. Y's Revenge, by a notable degree. Part of it has to do with me having access to sliding. The other reason is that the boss patterns are a lot more straightforward and stricter. Hi there, Quint, with your Sakugarne. You don't get a health bar though for some reason. Pathetic. Quint's weakness is the hard knuckle, but even without it, it's one of the easiest bosses in the game. Probably the easiest, to be fair. By defeating him, I gain his utility, the Sakugarne. Yet again, while he escapes into space. I guess he cheaped out in terms of fortress size. When did we acquire the space-based Rush Marine? Time for the final level. I do like the dolly clocks in the background, alluding to the use of time travel in the plot. I love this team. It's better when remixed though. It suffers from the same issues the music has in this game. The two issues being the wave tables being incorrectly programmed, the other one is that their pitches were set too high. Yeah, I forgive them. The compositions are great. At last, the section where we're forced to use the Rush Marine. The missile is somewhat acting like a super cutter wheel. I mean, this game is very generous. Pretty much Mega Man 5 levels of generosity. Let me show off the Sakugarne. Allows you to bounce on top of enemies to damage them. Pretty fun weapon to use, but it was made better in MM2. It's time for the Wily machines. That's alright. I screwed up the introduction anyways. So the wily bootleg machines. I guess he ran out of money from the previous game. He spent too much money in building his time machine. So each phase has half the health of a usual boss. Now we have the Wily Tank. I think the weakness of all three phases is the Sakugarne, judging by how the Mirror Buster worked in the previous game. So the Wily Dinosaur. It's over. Rather disappointingly easy, especially compared with the previous machine. Wait, are we absorbing its weapon? That never happened before. Oh, so Mega Man is using the Fortress boss's weapon against him. Rip Wily. Don't worry, he'll return for Rockman World 3. I love this ending soundtrack as well. It sounds somewhat sad though, like we're at the end of a series. In essence, this sounds like a bittersweet victory march. So this is a good time to give my overall thoughts on Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy, aka Rockman World 2 as a whole. In general, I say it's an improvement over Dr. Wily's Revenge, though it has its own set of problems. I say the physics are better, though jumping is a bit awkward, as you don't accelerate when falling. You have the same jumping and falling velocity at all times. Plus, you can never get knocked off of ladders, you still maintain your inertia. Plus, when you're sliding through an enemy, even if you take damage, you're not knocked out of the slide, you still keep on going. Plus, in general, I feel the game is too much on the easy side. It's like I'm playing a easy mode version of a Mega Man game. The game felt overly generous in terms of its pick-upables. There were just too many extra lives and E-tanks lying about. I didn't mind the inclusion of all those extra life energy and weapon energies, but outside of that, it should have been curbed down. Plus, some of the boss attack patterns were too easy. In other words, they dealt too little damage, they were too slow, and/or they were too simple and straightforward to get around. I love the music though. All these were original compositions, whereas all the other games, barring 5, have remixes of the NES teams. Some of these compositions will have more than the original NES ones, for instance, Airman, Needleman, and Hartman's teams. Shame how it was broken originally made it painful to listen to. Nevertheless, I enjoyed its experience. In fact, just look at how long it took me to complete this game. It was shorter than Dr. Wily's Revenge. Then again, it did have better and fairer level design. It just needed several difficulty tweaks. And from what I've heard, it was made by a much more inexperienced development team. So overall, this game was okay, I guess. If you want to play Rockman World games numerically, start off with this one. Just skip Revenge. Well then, I hope you all enjoyed my Let's Play of Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy viewers. If you enjoyed it, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play.